big news for anyone living, studying, or working in Canada. Canada's Immigration Department, Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, or IRCC, has just released new rules that clearly define when temporary resident documents like visitor visas, study permits, work permits, and electronic travel authorizations, also known as ETAs, can be cancelled. These new rules, announced on November 4, 2025, are designed to make the system fairer, clearer, and easier to enforce. So if you currently hold or plan to apply for a temporary visa in Canada, this update directly affects you. Let's break down exactly what's changing, what it means for you, and how to stay compliant. Under the new operational guidelines, IRCC now has a clear legal framework to cancel or revoke temporary resident documents when someone no longer meets the eligibility, admissibility, or compliance requirements after their visa or permit has been issued. Previously, the rules were a bit vague. Officers had discretionary power, but not much structure. Now, with these amendments to the Immigration and Refugee Protection Regulations, also known as IRPR, things are much clearer. The new framework introduces two types of cancellations: discretionary and automatic. Under Sections 180.1 and 180.2, visitor visas can now be canceled for several reasons: administrative mistakes during processing, loss of eligibility, new grounds of inadmissibility, or failure to leave Canada when required. But that's not all. A visitor visa will also automatically become invalid if the holder becomes a permanent resident, the passport linked to the visa is lost, or the holder passes away. Under the new operational guidelines, IRCC now has a clear legal framework to cancel or revoke temporary resident documents when someone no longer meets the eligibility, admissibility, or compliance requirements after their visa or permit has been issued. Previously, the rules were a bit vague. Officers had discretionary power, but not much structure. Now, with these amendments to the Immigration and Refugee Protection Regulations, also known as IRPR, things are much clearer. The new framework introduces two types of cancellations: discretionary and automatic. Under Sections 180.1 and 180.2, visitor visas can now be canceled for several reasons: administrative mistakes during processing, loss of eligibility, new grounds of inadmissibility, or failure to leave Canada when required. But that's not all. A visitor visa will also automatically become invalid if the holder becomes a permanent resident, the passport linked to the visa is lost, or the holder passes away. Now let's talk about study and work permits, areas that affect hundreds of thousands of international students and foreign workers in Canada. The updated rules add sections 222.7 to 222.8 for study permits and 209.01 to 209.02 for work permits. These sections clearly explain when a permit can be canceled. IRCC officers can now cancel a permit that was issued by mistake or when the holder no longer qualifies to keep it. Automatic cancellation also applies when the permit holder becomes a permanent resident or dies. Here are a few examples. If a student's college or university is later found to be non-compliant with IRCC's Designated Learning Institution (DLI) list, that student's permit can be revoked. Similarly, if a foreign worker's employer is later found to be non-compliant with IRCC regulations, the worker's permit may be cancelled once the issue is confirmed. So why is Canada making these changes? The goal is to strengthen compliance and transparency. These updates eliminate the uncertainty that existed in the past and bring Canada's immigration policy closer to countries like the United States and Australia, where rules for cancelling permits are already clearly written into law. But IRCC has also added an important fairness safeguard, known as the waiver clause. This means that if IRCC granted a visa or permit under special public policy, for example, in humanitarian or emergency situations, that same waived issue cannot later be used as a reason to cancel the document. This ensures fairness and prevents people who received exceptions for good reason from being unfairly penalized later. The new framework is part of IRCC's broader modernization effort, aiming to make the system more efficient, fair, and transparent. By clearly defining cancellation conditions, IRCC can better manage temporary resident numbers, reduce administrative errors, and improve data sharing across departments. It also discourages overstays and ensures that only those following the rules maintain their legal status in Canada. Officials say the purpose isn't to increase the number of cancellations, Instead, it's to make the process more consistent, predictable, and legally sound. This protects people who are playing by the rules while giving officers the authority to act against misuse or fraud. So, what should you do if you're a temporary resident in Canada, whether on a study permit, work permit, or visitor visa? Here are 3 important steps. 1. Maintain your legal status. Make sure your visa or permit remains valid at all times. 2. Follow all the conditions of your stay. Don't work or study outside what your permit allows. 3. Keep your documents up to date. If your passport expires or you change schools or employers, make sure IRCC has the correct information. These simple steps can help you avoid potential issues under the new cancellation rules. To sum it up, Canada's new rules make immigration management more transparent, fair, and reliable for both officers and applicants. By clearly outlining when and why a permit can be canceled, IRCC hopes to build a system that protects genuine applicants while maintaining the integrity of Canada's immigration programs. If you're a visitor, student, or worker in Canada, these rules are already in effect. So make sure your documents are valid and that you're fully compliant with all conditions of your stay. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more immigration updates, and share it with anyone who might need this information. See you in the next video.